The seventh St. Martial University towers under a clear blue sky, radiating brilliance and promise for the future. Excitement buzzed through the air as a young man eagerly shared the news that someone had taken on an AA rank mission and returned in less than a week. A large screen showed a figure radiating an intense aura, sparking excitement in the room. Sheng watched, intrigued by the familiar presence, while someone joyfully exclaimed that Lan had returned. Excitement surged through the crowd as the announcement of an AA rank mission sank in. The young man's heart raced, and the spectators around him looked at him with admiration and surprise. A confident woman informed him about the upcoming National Collegiate Martial Arts Tournament. A young man gestured dismissively, wondering what difference it made with the powerful Sheng there. A pensive young man listened, as his optimistic companion hoped their school would not place last in the upcoming tournament. Frustration bubbled as someone questioned why Sheng was excluded from the tournament despite his extraordinary talent. A concerned woman explained the serious implications of Sheng's test, saying that tournament participation would mean failure. Frustration surged as the talented martial artist shouted at an unseen opponent about the needless suppression of his skills. A thoughtful character reflected on the martial saint's words, pondering their deeper meaning. A door slammed as the young man expressed his frustration, feeling the weight of expectations pressed down on him. A group of masked figures stood confidently, reminiscing about their past humiliations with smug expressions. One masked figure recounted the defeat to peers, highlighting their academy's humiliation. A wave of frustration washed over a young man with dark hair as he lamented the prospect of graduation and the humiliation it might bring. A warm glow enveloped the room as a caring and supportive presence began to comfort a vulnerable but hopeful girl. Sheng reassured Ling that everything would be okay. A warm exchange filled the air as a female character comforted a surprised young man with dark hair. A calm determination radiated from a talented martial artist as he walked confidently out of the school dormitory, others passing by without a glance. A loud bell echoed through the air, capturing everyone's attention. Sheng gestured playfully while announcing the sound, his excitement palpable. A tournament announcement lit up the screen, and a talented martial artist with dark hair read intently, pondering its significance. A tense atmosphere enveloped the scene as a talented martial artist observed everything around him with an intense gaze. Sheng noted their sudden appearance upon his return. A tense atmosphere thickened as a worried and alert young man observed a group outside the school. He suspected they were probably sent by the school. A tense atmosphere surrounded a talented martial artist with dark hair as he observed a group of intimidating men in sunglasses watching him. He realized they seemed to be evaluating whether he would leave. A confident young man with dark hair smiled, asserting his independence from the 7th St. Martial University. The scene shifted to a towering stone monument beneath the bright sky, while the narration made it clear that even someone as powerful as the martial saint was not Chin TM's true concern. A group of figures gathered near a school gate, anticipation building as a bus waited nearby. A young man with dark hair walked towards the bus, eager to reunite with friends. Excitement filled the air as the crowd buzzed about the upcoming National Martial Arts Tournament. An enthusiastic supporter shouted about the Demon King setting off to reclaim their honor. Excitement surged as two friends walked together, eagerly discussing the anticipated arrival of the talented martial artist, Sheng. A smug young man with dark hair contemplated the TM's misguided priorities, believing the inheritance far outweighed the upcoming tournament. Tension hung heavy in the air as Sheng confronted Vice Principal with a look of concern. He questioned if shared his worries about the tournament's challenges. A worried young man with dark hair checked his watch, feeling the weight of time pressing down on him. A shocking revelation struck Sheng, his eyes widening in disbelief as he faced an unseen event. A burst of light illuminated the sky as a heroic and powerful figure descended from above. Onlookers reacted with amazement, their voices filled with excitement. They exclaimed that Sheng had arrived, bringing energy to the atmosphere. A worried young man with dark hair felt his heart race as he processed the shocking news about Sheng. He expressed his disbelief towards Sheng, the young man's face twisted in panic, surrounded by dynamic lines of distress. A confident young man with dark hair walked into the room, surprising everyone with his relaxed demeanor. A tense atmosphere filled the room as a concerned mentor figure urged Sheng to reconsider his decision. Sheng asserted his beliefs to the vice principal, claiming reality would be shaped by his convictions. Excitement buzzed through the air as a crowd gathered around a bus, eagerly anticipating the journey ahead. Sheng urged everyone to board, assuring them that victory was within reach. The crowd cheered, filled with hope and anticipation for the upcoming tournament. Buses traversed the winding road, carrying eager participants toward the National Martial Arts Tournament, each passenger filled with anticipation for the challenges ahead. A commanding voice filled the bus, instructing the students to change into their uniforms, emphasizing their status as top students of the university. A commanding presence enveloped the train as Sheng prepared to introduce the rules of the martial arts tournament. He aimed to capture the audience's attention immediately. A pensive young man with dark hair contemplated the essence of martial mastery, his thoughts consumed by the differences between levels. A determined young man with dark hair explained the system records about vitality condensing into a core after level 8. A fierce energy surged from a determined young man with dark hair, causing debris to fly as he unleashed a powerful attack. A determined young man with dark hair stood poised, energy radiating from him as he prepared for a significant transformation, Sheng himself for condensing a core. A determined young man with dark hair held onto his shirt, reflecting intensely on his abilities. He questioned when he would possess the will of a great martial master. The air crackled with tension as a determined young man with dark hair contemplated the immense power of a great martial master. He resolved to experience that power personally. A towering mountain stood majestically against a serene sky, embodying the calm before the storm of challenges ahead. The bus driver announced their arrival at Mountain, filling the air with excitement and anticipation. Excitement buzzed in the air as a young man with dark hair observed the crowd of martial arts students gathered at Mountain. He exclaimed that they were from the 7th St. Martial University, wishing them good luck for the competition. A lively discussion unfolded as a curious young man with dark hair asked if they could watch the competition live. A sassy female character responded, teasing that only those at the mountain could see it in person. The group of students stood in formation, ready to follow their instructor up the mountain. The instructor announced the plan, urging them to keep close. A bright burst of light erupted, igniting a wave of excitement among the gathered friends. Sheng cheered, his enthusiasm contagious as everyone around him joined in the celebration. A startled man in a suit reacted with surprise, questioning who was moving so quickly. A determined young man with dark hair leaped through the air, preparing for an unavoidable confrontation with the martial saint in the near future. He thought he needed to start preparing early. A determined young man with dark hair expressed his ambition to level up, dreaming of defeating the martial saint in an impressive way. A determined young man with dark hair ran urgently up a stone path, his companions trailing behind, all filled with a sense of anxious urgency. A commanding man in a suit raised his hand, signaling the others to pause and gather around him. A concerned young man with dark hair pointed as he questioned Sheng's absence. A worried young man with dark hair informed his teacher that Sheng had run ahead without them. A mountain loomed in the distance, eliciting astonishment from a determined young man with dark hair and his companions. Sheng reacted in disbelief, unable to comprehend what he was seeing. A calm and encouraging young man with dark hair suggested a break as clouds and mountains surrounded them. A curious young man with dark hair questioned his senior brother's strategy, wondering why they shouldn't just dash up all at once. Mist swirled around the towering martial Saint Mountain, shrouding its mysteries and heightening the anticipation of those about to ascend. Sheng explained the rules of the mountain, emphasizing the importance of understanding the journey ahead. The other character expressed confusion, questioning what rules could possibly exist. Sheng reassured him, indicating the cloud entry they had already reached. He pointed out the 5 stone steps hidden above in the thick clouds. A majestic mountain bathed in light loomed before them, symbolizing a path to greatness. Sheng observed the mountain thoughtfully. A tense moment filled the air as a young man with dark hair criticized his senior brother for being overly nagging. Sheng explained that the legendary martial artist Zhou had once practiced on Martial Saint Mountain, refining his body with heavenly fire and thunder. A confident male character gestured towards a pathway, explaining that young martial artists could awaken a rare opportunity if they climbed without faltering. A celestial phenomenon illuminated the sky, leaving the young man with dark hair gazing upward, filled with curiosity and wonder. He questioned what a celestial phenomenon might look like. A sudden realization settled in as he contemplated the mystery unfolding before him. Sheng suggested a thought, pondering what could be happening. Jin expressed his surprise, questioning the bizarre situation. A celestial spectacle unfolded, with clouds and mist swirling in captivating patterns, drawing the gaze of a curious young man with dark hair. Sheng observed the mystical phenomenon, believing it could signal a path to greatness. A giant whale emerged dramatically from the ocean, astonishing everyone nearby. Sheng exclaimed in awe at the incredible sight, calling it a high-grade phenomenon. Two glowing whales danced in the sky, capturing the attention of a young man with dark hair and a companion nearby. He observed the spectacle with growing curiosity. The companion questioned what this might signify, excitement evident in their tone. A breathtaking display of light shimmered above the mountain peak, hinting at extraordinary possibilities. Sheng explained that 3 individuals might become martial saints, igniting hope in those listening. The surprised listener gasped in disbelief at the prospect of such potential. Sheng attempted a powerful move, eager to trigger a whale phenomenon, his excitement radiating as energy swirled around him. A golden figure darted through the air, captivating a young man with dark hair who watched in amazement. He exclaimed that the figure's speed was incredible. A divine dragon soared through the sky, leaving everyone in awe of its majestic presence. Sheng reacted with astonishment, feeling overwhelmed by the legendary sight before him. A golden dragon emerged as Sheng climbed the mountain, a sense of awakening enveloping him. He thought about how he wanted to casually ascend the peak. A strange feeling began to rise within him as he climbed higher. He felt alone, caught between heaven and earth. His nature's breathing technique activated on its own, guiding his ascent. He climbed simply, yet felt something drawing him forward. It was as if unseen forces elevated him towards the sky. A majestic golden dragon hovered above, its presence illuminating the surroundings. Sheng gazed in awe at the dragon, feeling a mix of wonder and reverence. A mysterious glowing creature appeared, capturing the attention of a young man with dark hair. Sheng questioned the strange being with a mix of wonder and shock. A magnificent, fiery dragon soared before a young man with dark hair, igniting astonishment in his heart. He questioned the transformation of whales into a dragon, unsure of its meaning. A fiery lion spirit erupted in the background, startling a young man with dark hair as he reacted with shock. A surge of powerful energy enveloped a determined and resilient martial artist, leaving him shocked by its intensity. He felt an overwhelming challenge to his martial will. A powerful and elevated martial artist ascended into the air, surrounded by flames, triggering a stunning divine dragon phenomenon. An amazed observer couldn't fathom how he achieved such a feat. A wave of wonder washed over the crowd as a young man with dark hair gazed at the extraordinary display of talent before him. Sheng questioned the origins of such unparalleled genius. Curious onlookers watched in awe, captivated by the spectacle unfolding. A majestic spectacle unfolded as a confident young man with dark hair summoned a divine dragon, captivating all creation in its ascendance. A wise and experienced elder stood astonished, witnessing a majestic, legendary phenomenon for the first time in all his years at Mountain. An elderly martial arts master pointed, commanding his followers to investigate the unknown person nearby. A confident young man with dark hair walked past the crowd, exuding an air of determination that drew everyone's attention. Sheng reacted in surprise, exclaiming that the arrival was incredible and felt like a martial saint had come. A group of characters looked surprised as a confident young man with dark hair revealed his affiliation to the 7th Saint Martial University. A tense atmosphere settled as a confident young man with dark hair stood firmly, asserting command over an unseen target. Astonished, a young man with dark hair expressed disbelief about the monstrous reputation of the 7th Saint Martial University. Astonished, a frustrated character couldn't fathom how a surprisingly powerful young man could exceed martial saints by so much. Surprise rippled through the crowd as an elder recognized a talented martial artist from the 7th St. Martial University. Fiery energy swirled around a confident and powerful figure, marking a moment of triumph in the arena. Sheng dominated the martial towers across 7 universities. The majestic mountains loomed in the background, symbolizing the epic challenges ahead. Moments later, excitement surged through the crowd as they anticipated the tournament's start. A young man with dark hair stood confidently, ready to face his destiny. He felt the weight of expectation as eyes turned toward him in admiration. A group of characters stood on a stone platform, gazing out at the majestic mountains as realization dawned on them. An unknown character commented on the promising disciple that Marshal Saint Tan had high hopes for. A sense of intrigue filled the air as Sheng analyzed the potential talent before him. He remarked that the individual's talents seemed almost exaggerated. Surprise filled the air as a young man with dark hair listened to the excited voices around him, discussing someone stronger than a martial saint. A determined young man with dark hair held 2 red orbs, asserting that martial talent isn't measured in the usual way. A wise master appeared with a commanding presence, capturing TM's attention. He introduced himself as Grand Martial Master Qi, asserting his authority over the gathering. A wise elder explained temperature changes, emphasizing that slight variations could lead to vastly different outcomes. Sheng listened attentively, contemplating the lesson's deeper meaning. A determined young man with dark hair stood firm, surrounded by shadowy figures as someone criticized his talent. A towering mountain glowed under dramatic skies, hinting at the significant phenomena surrounding Sheng's unfolding fate. Then, it was suggested that his martial fate aligned closely with that of Marshal Saint Zhou. The wise elder noted that this kid arrived just in time to activate the fate mechanisms on Marshal Saint Mountain. The wise elder posed a thought-provoking question about the existence of someone stronger than a martial saint, prompting the audience to reflect deeply. A lively discussion unfolded as a talented martial artist gestured animatedly, sharing his thoughts on strength and fullness. He believed that the Grand Martial Master Qi made a significant point. His friend nodded in agreement, sharing the same excitement. A wise and observant man praised the young martial artist's exceptional talent, noting it surpassed that of his peers and hinted at his remarkable potential. A cunning and thoughtful female character smirked, reflecting on how Sheng's arrival had stirred excitement at the Supreme Martial Academy. A tall, modern hotel loomed majestically against the night sky, its glowing fa filled with unspoken promises and mysteries. A tense atmosphere crackled as a determined young man raised his fist, demanding to know why the group was panicking. A frustrated instructor scolded the anxious students, questioning their shameful reactions to a minor phenomenon. A confident figure stepped forward, mocking the core elites for fearing a fresh graduate's talent. A confident young man gestured assertively, indicating that instructor was correct about the situation. Assessed Sheng's abilities, noting that while he wasn't a martial master yet, he believed he could compete if he fully unleashed his techniques. Qing confidently explained that true martial strength TMT about flashy tricks, emphasizing the importance of skill and strategy. A menacing young man raised a clenched fist, declaring he could easily crush the opponent standing before him. The inspiring mentor praised the students, affirming their spirit as the twin stars of the Supreme Martial Academy. A sinister character suggested a deadly game, proposing that whoever faced Sheng first should eliminate him on stage without concern for the 7th Saint. A gentle hum filled the cozy lounge as a young man with dark hair sat alone, absorbed in the glow of his phone. A young man with dark hair gazed at his phone, where Sheng's image shone against a nostalgic sunset. A young man with dark hair looked thoughtfully at his phone, curiosity flickering across his face as he reacted to a message about himself. A curious woman inquires about Sheng's focus on another, her tone laced with interest. A confident young man with dark hair reassured another character about their opponent's lack of martial prowess and readiness for the upcoming challenge. A mischievous character smirked as he taunted the serious young man, revealing their targets were powerful martial masters already nearing an advanced level. A tense atmosphere enveloped the room as a young man with dark hair looked worriedly at the calm girl beside him. The girl reassured him, conveying her confidence about their situation. A confident and persuasive young man with dark hair argued that the phenomena at Marshall's Saint Mountain were real, but nothing was absolute. A nostalgic reflection washed over the thoughtful and introspective young man as he recalled his childhood talent for seeing spirits. A dense black aura surrounded a confident young man with dark hair as he faced an astonished audience. He revealed his mysterious energy, leaving onlookers in awe and disbelief. Excitement buzzed through the crowded hotel lobby as characters eagerly discussed the might of Demon Lord Sheng. A chatty bystander remarked that Sheng triggered never-before-seen phenomena. Another enthusiastic bystander chimed in, expressing admiration for Sheng's immense power. A buzz of excitement filled the air as bystanders cheered for Sheng, their voices rising in admiration. A muscular character felt relieved, reflecting on a past decision not to challenge Sheng. A serious conversation unfolded as a determined young man reflected on his journey, revealing the weight of his experiences. Sheng spoke about being a living testament to his struggles. A contemplative young man with dark hair pondered the immense vitality needed to create celestial phenomena. He reflected on his last confrontation, admitting the outcome might remain unchanged. A supportive hand gripped a shoulder, carrying warmth and encouragement in a moment of vulnerability. Sheng reassured his friend not to be too hard on himself. The atmosphere grew tense as the wise and encouraging principal advised Sheng to focus on his own path. The principal confidently stated that the 7 universities were united, and there was no need to view Sheng as an opponent. A wise and confident elder man declared that this year offered the 7th saint a prime opportunity to claim first place. A man in a suit admired something off-panel, while a calm but wary figure stood at a distance. He expressed his delight at the sight before him. The air crackled with anticipation as a prophecy echoed in the chamber, hinting at a young man's extraordinary future. Sheng considered the weight of the prophecy about his destiny. A tense atmosphere enveloped them as the character with glasses explained the dire consequences of failing to kill Yi. A somber mood hung in the air as a mysterious figure voiced concern about Sheng's choices. A glowing light emanated from Sheng's hands, and surprise filled his expression. A surge of energy coursed through him, igniting a newfound strength and confidence in his martial abilities. Sheng reflected on how the energy had transformed him. Sheng contemplated a glowing circular pattern, wondering if he had absorbed the whale symbol earlier. A swirling energy surrounded Sheng, and all washed over him as he examined its immense power. A confident young man with dark hair contemplated his recent gain, believing it might enhance his chances against a great martial master later. A tense air filled the space as Sheng focused, sensing a dangerous presence lurking nearby. He felt a surge of murderous intent permeating the atmosphere. A menacing figure loomed in the dark, revealing a monstrous form that inspired dread in all who beheld it. Emerged, his presence casting a shadow over the gathering. A tense atmosphere enveloped Sheng as he assessed his odds against, weighing his limited chance of victory within a fleeting moment. A powerful attack surged from a talented martial artist as he aimed to overwhelm the cornered opponent with sheer force. A confident young man smirked at the onlookers, aware of their gazes resting heavily on him. A determined young man walked forward, resolved to crush anyone who might fail him. If you'd like to see your favorite titles retold, leave a comment, and I'll be sure to pick some of them up from time to time. Also, let me know which video format you like more, long videos or short ones. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you again soon.